1 month 1921. Lieutenant Paddy O'Sullivan, captured at Clonmalt and executed in 1921. Section Leader Maurice Moore, captured at Clonmalt and executed in 1921. Joe Reid, killed accidentally in 1918. Quartermaster Daniel Ahern, killed in Carricklow in 1922. The project we called Preserving the Past, Informing the Future, as it was in danger of being lost to history. I welcome Michael Sheedy here. Edward is unavailable, and I thank them for their magnificent work and patience for what was an extremely difficult task to read the inscription. We welcome especially Dr. Gabriel Doherty of UCC for his speech. I welcome Councillor Cobh Rasmussen. I welcome Joanna Murphy of Cobb Chamber, President of Cobb Chamber, and I welcome Conor Nelligan, Heritage Officer, Cork County Council. Thank you to my friends in the Commodore Male Voice Choir, to Peter Daly and Colin Barry for their sound system. As a committee, we have achieved a lot since 2015, led by our chairman, Kieran McCarthy. Special thanks to Tim O'Shea and Fergal O'Connell for all their work here during the past weeks. I would like to mention those that have blessed us: Jimmy Halligan, Vice Chairman, John Jeffries, Secretary, and committee member Raymond Barry, brother of Colin. I am sure they are guiding us today. Finally, our thoughts are with committee member Michael Roach, who is ill in hospital, and we pray he pulls through. Now, it's been traditional every Easter that we would read a proclamation here, which adds a bit to the ceremony, but we will do. So, to begin the ceremony proper, I will ask the Commodore Male Voice Choir to sing "I See His Blood Upon the Rose." "I See His Blood Upon the Rose" is a poem written by Joseph Mary Plunkett, the youngest signatory of the 1916 Rising, who was executed in 1916. So I'll hand you over to the choir. Thank you.
I see his blood upon the rose, and in the stars the glory of his eyes. His body gleams amid eternal snows, his tears fall from the sky. I see his face in every flower, the thunder and the singing of the birds are of his voice, and carven by his power, rocks are his written word. All pathways by his feet are worn, his strong heart serves the ever-beating sea. His crown of thorns is twined with every thorn, his cross is every tree.
Okay. We continue now with the proclamation. The proclamation of public Ahern, the provisional government of the Irish Republic to the people of Ireland, Irish men and Irish women, in the name of God and of the great generations from which she receives her old tradition of nationhood, Ireland, through us, summons her children to her flag and strikes for her freedom. Having organised and trained her manhood through our secret revolutionary organisation, the Irish Republican Brotherhood, and through our open military organisations, the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizen Army, having patiently perfected her discipline, having resolutely waited for the right moment to reveal itself, she now seizes that moment, and supported by her exiled children in America, and like allies in Europe, but relying on the first on her own strength, she strikes in full confidence of victory. We declare the right of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland, and to the unfettered control of Irish destinies to be sovereign and indefeasible. The long usurpation of that right by a foreign people and government has not extinguished the right, nor can it ever be extinguished except by the destruction of the Irish people. In every generation, the Irish people have asserted their right to national freedom and sovereignty. 6 times during the past 300 years, they have asserted it in arms. Standing on that fundamental right and again asserting it in arms in the face of the world, we hereby proclaim the Irish Republic as a sovereign, independent state, and we pledge our lives and the lives of our comrades in arms to the cause of its freedom, of its welfare, and of its exaltation among the nations. The Irish Republic is entitled to and hereby claims the allegiance of every Irishman and Irishwoman. The Republic guarantees religious and civil liberty, equal rights and equal opportunities to all its citizens, and declares its resolve to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and of all its parts, cherishing all the children of the nation equally, and oblivious of the differences carefully fostered by an alien government, which have divided a minority from the majority in the past. Until our arms have brought the opportune moment for the establishment of a permanent national government, representative of the whole people of Ireland and elected by the suffrages of all her men and women. The provisional government hereby constituted would administer the civil and military affairs of the Republic in trust for the people. We place the cause of the Irish Republic under the protection of the Most High God, whose blessing we evoke upon our arms, and we pray that no one who serves that cause will dishonour it by cowardice, inhumanity, or rapine. In this supreme hour, the Irish nation must, by its valour and discipline, and by the readiness of its children to sacrifice themselves for the common good, prove itself worthy of the august destiny to which it is called. Signed on behalf of the Provisional Government, Thomas J. Clark, Sean McDermott, Thomas McDonough, Corey Pearce, Eamon Khan, James Connolly. Right, now I'd like to welcome our guest speaker for today, Dr. Gabriel Doherty from UCC History Department.
Members of Cobh 1916 Commemoration Committee, ladies and gentlemen. Many and sincere thanks to the members of the committee for having extended the invitation to me to address you on this Easter Sunday in this historic spot, and in particular to Kieran McCarthy for having arranged everything in advance. The sterling voluntary work that the committee has performed for many years now is worthy of the highest praise, and bearing in mind the principled, public-minded spirit in which it has been performed, and the quality of the personalities involved in same, I have no doubt that it will continue for many years to come. So more power to you. When thinking of a subject for today's address, which I promise will last no more than 15 minutes, I was acutely conscious of both the august date and the hallowed location, and wished to come up with a topic that called to mind and respected both. After consultations with the committee, it was agreed that the broad subject matter should be the nature of the independence campaign, in which, of course, residents of Cobh and its hinterland played such a prominent and significant role. If I was pressed to suggest a title to indicate the subject matter for my words, I would say something like this: to see ourselves as our enemies see us. British Army views of the IRA during the War of Independence. For I will be discussing briefly a number of confidential documents relating to the campaign in Ireland prepared by senior figures within the British military, both those stationed in the country and from those from without who undertook tours of inspection during the years 1919 to 21. I will finish up with a reflection as to what light these documents shine on the events of that period that we remember here today, most notably the Clonmouth ambush. These documents offer a novel perspective on the events of the time, one that was light years away from the public rhetoric of British politicians, to whom I should always also make reference. I stress this is not in any way a lecture. The occasion and the length of time available make that level of detail impossible, and I will try to avoid making the discussion too heavy. But stick with me to the end, as my point will, I hope, be very clear by the time I finish. If anyone is interested in the subject matter and wishes to study it in greater depth, I am more than happy to supply via email copies of the documents to which I shall be referring. My starting point is what the British government of the day had to say in public about the challenge posed by the IRA to British rule in Ireland. Not surprisingly, this was entirely unflattering, and was centred on the murder gang trope. The Irish republicanism amounted to nothing